Hey guys, my name is Ryan. I just got a question today about how to increase the flow of money energy. And I wanted to talk a little bit about money in general and where that programming actually came from, because money is actually a really effective system for exchanging energy that has been around for a very, very long time. However, we have a lot of imprints and distortions around money that actually inhibit how we can interact with it. So what I wanted to talk about is a little bit of history. So the money system actually started about 76,000 years ago. And at that time, humanity operated a little bit differently. There was like we have now, there was an extraterrestrial occupation on the planet. And one of the things that they used to do is they would go around and give the parents of newborn children a gold coin. And that gold coin, one of the properties of gold is it's actually able to absorb a kind of a primal energy source called mana. That mana energy is what mana is based on, and they would actually take that gold coin and they would place it over the heart chakra of the child. They knew energy techniques back then, and so what they could do is they could actually extract some of that life force energy from the child and charge the coin. These ETs would then come around like tax collectors and collect those gold coins. This is where tax collection originated. Okay, and this is also why there's Fort Knox and there's gold domes and there's all these different things that are built out of gold, because gold has special properties that allows that material to absorb this energy from humanity. That energy, when it's stored in the gold, can then be basically melted down, and through a specific process of melting that gold down, they release that mana energy that was collected whenever they actually need that energy. And so I'll cut there. Let me see.
That's fascinating. It's really interesting stuff.
Okay. So now we have the story of, over time the gold coins were collected and that energy was siphoned from humanity. They eventually found they could store all of this energy in idols. They could store it in basically a safe place where they could continue to harvest and collect a lot of this energy, store it in those gold coins for later use. Now, this created certain distortions in how we work with energy. Part of the original program that was created about 76,000 years ago was this need for power. And because we were occupied by this ET race, we were suppressed at the time. And so humanity had this desire for power that was connected to gold or to the money system of the time. As humanity continued to evolve, our cultures changed, our dynamics changed, the ruling powers that were imprinting these stories on humanity began to shift. And our money system continued to evolve with those underlying traumas still attached to it. And so now, everyone on the planet has been programmed to desire money for several different reasons, but they don't understand the mechanisms of how energy flows through them and is channeled back to them by the universe. And so they end up reaching for money outside of them as a source of power. So most humanity seeks money for a couple of simple reasons. You might be wanting to pay your rent easily. You might be wanting to create something. You might be wanting to feel importance or significance. You might be wanting to be able to purchase certain things. And when we really siphon down what those actually mean, it simplifies to when we want to pay our rent, when we want to have money to be safe, we're asking for stability, we're asking for security. And if we continue to ask for money, our energy system is not outputting the correct format that allows money to support us in the way that we're asking. So for example, if we are trying to be able to comfortably pay our rent, if we're trying to comfortably afford to go on trips, if we're trying to just be comfortable in our life, but we're asking for money, we're effectively outputting the energy that is the lack of the existence of that stability, that is the lack of the existence of the anchoring of that energy within us. And so if we can start to understand the fundamental thing that we actually want the money to give us, it gives us a lot more power to interact with what we're actually asking for. So if I'm asking for stability and security, what can you do in your life now to begin to feel more secure, to begin to feel more stable? And if you can start to program that into your subconscious, the universe will support you in that by giving you more of what you already have, which is security and stability, and a way of expanding that. If you're looking for power and importance because you have then associated, because of social media or all of these other programs, that having a big house or having a nice car or having a lot of money to go on trips is powerful, and your lack of that feels disempowered, then you're not asking for money, you're asking for those experiences. You're asking for the emotional experience that is involved in having that car or having that house. But is that really the actual having of the house, or is it actually you showing up in power and the universe supporting you by some of these other mechanisms of your desire? And so when we look at that, when we look at the programs that have been imprinted on society in terms of what is success, we then see, oh, they're saying success is having all of this money and having a successful business or career and having all of the material wealth that has been pumped into us to have, while also distorting the programs that allow that energy to flow through us, because then we ask an outside authority to validate our ability to have power, to validate our ability to exchange these energy materials. And society is, and the money magic system that exists is a very powerful way to simultaneously disempower humanity while encouraging them to ask for material wealth, when the subtext of that is a desire for power. And so we want to be able to understand the disempowerment we're currently experiencing so that we can shift our internal lens into standing in that power, so that the universe can support us financially in the expression of who we want the money to allow us to be. And all of these programs, the more that we can understand how money interacts, how we perceive money as a tool to create the emotion we want to experience. So if we can start to reevaluate our why behind why we're asking for money. Are we asking for it for that stability or sense of importance or significance or power? And can we create that for ourselves now? Or if we're asking for money to go on a trip, or we're asking for money to buy something, can you refocus your lens? Instead of saying, I want this money, start asking for the thing that you actually want and allow the universe to solve the money problem for you. Because if you're asking for money, you're simultaneously outputting the energy of, I don't have this, I can't access this, I'm going to run out. And there's several different layers of beliefs that start to show up. When we start to say, this is the emotion I want to experience, suddenly all of this information can come to the surface about why you believe you don't deserve that, or why you believe you can't have that, or what programs that you are running around money that run subconsciously and alter the structure of the subatomic particles that actually form the result of money coming to you. And we want to be clear on those fundamental programs and our beliefs around how those energies flow and how we ask for those things, so that we can clarify those underlying programs and begin to actually establish a belief system and a structure that allows that money to flow through you, because you're focusing on the emotional experience and the things that you actually desire. Now, as you put this into practice, what that means is, when I'm sitting in a place where I don't have money, or I can't pay my rent, or I want to grow in this way to experience X, Y, and Z in my life, it is a practice. It's not something that you just flip a switch and suddenly you understand how that money energy works. They've been programming us through our parents, through society, about how those energies actually flow through us. So it's a game of discernment. So as you begin to reprogram those different layers of your lens, you can start to shift little by little the subtle programs and thought processes and energies that flow through you into the activities that you're actually doing now. And then once you understand the emotional imprint that you're actually looking for, clarity can come to give you an inspired action to take to allow those emotions, to allow those activities to actually surface for you to support you in the life that you actually want to create. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I will expand on different money programs as we go. Money questions are very, very common, and there's a lot of layers to things specifically that we can dig into. Super appreciate your question. Thank you.